Hey everyone, this is my Patreon-powered reaction to the 9th episode of Zetsuen no Tempest. And last episode we had a pretty hard ball dropped on us with pretty much introducing time travel shenanigans into the story. Because all this time we've heard about how the princess is dead, Haka's is dead, and the whole time I was like, no, she's not. She's like right on that island. We talk to her regularly. Like, no, she's clearly alive. Does she look like a dead person to you? And then he showed the skeleton in the barrel. I'm like, no, that's a different skeleton in a different barrel. Don't be silly. Maybe that's like Daika's skeleton or something. Maybe that's why they killed her. That would make sense, right? I'm so smart. I figured that all out, right? No, none of that was true. It actually was her skeleton. It was her barrel. It was gotten off of that island that she's supposedly on. It's just that the her they're talking to now is the her from the past. Yeah, wrap your head around that one. So I was allowed to take it, but not exactly sure what the deal with that is because that doesn't seem very logical to me. So I don't think she's doing a good job defending logic if she's giving me a headache trying to understand all that. So that's kind of where I stand on that. But hopefully we can at some point get a bit better understanding of exactly what's going on because it's pretty confusing now. So let's just get into it and see if he elaborates further or if anyone does. So 3, 2, 1, play. Of course, we gotta start with our awesome opening. Zetsuen no Tempest. I don't care if you're not alive, technically, I still love you. I mean, Aika's not alive either, I love her. So why are all the girls that get a lot of screen time in this show dead? Can somebody explain that to me? Am I supposed to read into that somehow? I guess Yamamoto is still alive. I mean, as far as we know, she's still alive. There could be a plot twist there, too. But so far, all the important, amazing, beautiful girls in this show are just dead. So, pretty messed up to me. I really do love this opening. It's like, it's the kind of opening you would add to your iPod, you know, in your usual music rotation. If you had an iPod, which I don't. I never have. I had an MP3 player once, back in high school. That was about it. Yeah, just showing off her naked body to them. What he's saying is, Omae wa mo shindeiru. I know I want an explanation, but slow down. Boyfriend. Hadashi, that's a interesting title. Although, considering how misleading the first Kiss episode was, I'm not gonna read too much into that. But yeah, it breaks down to time travel. Using magic to travel her voice into the future is, I guess, essentially what it is. Yeah, you can tell by the hats. But don't worry, he specializes in defense magic, he's not gonna hurt you. Well, thank you for announcing your unannounced visit. I appreciate it. You really just have to show her corpse off like that. It's very disrespectful. Yeah, explain that, smart guy. Okay. But she clearly has it with her. Does it work that way? I guess it does. Why not? That's a good point, but... I guess it's a lot to take in that you're dead. Yeah, it's not a great move. You did. I didn't think much of it at the time, but... Yeah... I didn't think about that, though. Well, that bottle arrived somewhere sooner. I didn't guess it either, don't feel too bad. Oof. That... I mean, you're still sort of alive in your own timeline. It's hard to explain, but you're dead and you're alive. Schrodinger's castaway. Cage within time. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. She might be dead in that timeline, but she's still able to help them in some capacity, so that still means a lot. So, yeah. But again, he has defensive magic, so he can only do very limited damage. But, oh, they actually got through it. You better be careful, man, because that is very dangerous. Even if you're a magic man, that's still, with good defense, that's still dangerous. Clearly. Well, oh yeah, they can just, like, sacrifice technology to their god. I kind of didn't think about that. Well, they're suddenly a lot less guarded than they were before. This is when we need our crossover between this and Girls und Panzer. Come on, ladies. We need reinforcements. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a way to get around the problem of no offensive magic. Because that's technically not offensive, but it works. Gets the job done. And yeah, just kills two birds with one stone like that, so it's a convenient ability to have. But how much is that really helping? Yeah, you can be briefed on a Superman all you want, but doesn't make it that much easier to fight. That'd be silly, it's only episode 9. What are you gonna do about it, pretty boy? Well, we're obviously very scared about that. I wouldn't say to end it, it may shift gears a bit. But, you know, he still needs to get his answers about who the culprit is, so... Nothing changed for him. Don't get rid of that thing. That's not cool. If you don't want it, I'll take it. Yeah, he might not be doing what you think he's going to do. A little surprised, huh? He's never really cared that much about what happens with the princess. Doesn't care much about what happens in the world either. Exactly. You don't know this guy very well. I love that look in his face. Get wrecked, boy. He's pretty straightforward. I'm sure he had a plan B. I'll just, if the sister doesn't work out, I'll go for the brother. Well, I wouldn't be, but it's not my decision. The audacity of this boy. Relatable, right? Well, I guess he's trying to save the world in his own way, so I guess not really that similar, but still. He doesn't bluff. I wouldn't say that. Still very early in the anime. A lot could happen. Somebody that was probably part of your clan. Probably part of your faction of it. I mean, if you can do it, yeah. Well, then you should be able to do it, no problem. What kind of time are we talking here? Minutes, hours, days? That narrows it down a lot. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long if you already know that much. Unless you lied, yeah. I don't think so. I really wish you would just put the skeleton down, dude. It's starting to bother me more. Yeah, he won't be alive when I'm done with him, but needs to at least start out that way. Yeah, who would ever do such a thing? You don't like the idea? Okay, so I think this looks like we have an agreement here. So, are we actually gonna get our answer here? Yeah, I don't think you'd ever forget that day. Yeah, we have some detective forensics to do, so. But it seems like it wasn't the brother, though, if he clearly doesn't seem to know anything about it. So I guess it narrows it down from that. And terrifying fruit. That poor lonely wooden doll. Can somebody please pick it up? Anybody? But you will still commented about it. And thank you for picking it up. Yeah. Oof. I missed you, princess. Yeah. Well, I would complain about that. And you gotta do that. You can't even quote Hamlet, then what kind of filthy casual are you? Akichan. You mentioned her. It does feel like it's been too long since we got an Aika flashback. I don't like being on a cliff like this. Maybe. Always Hamlet. We can't abandon Hamlet, don't be silly. Well... Sounds a little bit familiar. Not the most happy story ever. You look very girly with that hat. It's not, but... What's your obsession with revenge? That's my question. Oh? A mage on an island. Sounds very familiar as well. What kind of revenge story is that? I probably haven't heard of it, but I want to know anyway. Oh. Okay, partial title drop. It all seems so familiar. There's no way it's a coincidence. Somebody's playing a game with us. Maybe it's a tree. One of the trees, probably. Yes, the reason why you're here is to prevent this from becoming a complete tragedy. If she's already dead, I'm not sure how we do that. But gotta at least try. I'm the new protagonist of this anime. Oh. Okay. I was confused for a second why he covered his face, but that made sense. As soon as he dropped the thing, I got it. Well, you could have just asked. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're just straight up fighting now. I got connections. Well, let's not fight, you two. You're supposed to be friends. Oh, that's a cool sword. Ooh. Okay, this isn't fair. Okay, this is just a really scrappy fight. Good point, but... How many of those do you have, dude? Well, the tables have turned. He has a high ground now, and truly is checkmate. It's over. Not another tank. Oh, who is that? Oh, is that Yamamoto? Yes, it is. Looking good as always. Very important to know. Sounded very familiar. I don't know anymore. I'm getting confused. Yeah, like Hakaze, for instance. Yeah, do you not feel bad for her at all? I do vaguely remember that, yeah, that was brought up before. Well, yeah, but I kind of like this one better. She can hear you, you know. Ugh. Are you just being hypothetical, or is this, do you have an plan? Anything's possible in anime with magic, but... 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 Okay. Waiting for that but. Okay, so we can't help this pile of bones here, but we can bring that one here. Is that what you're saying? Take her out of the time cage. Yeah, should we... I'd rather we not interrupt that, but... I guess the deal does mostly benefit Samon, so I guess it's better to not do it. Oh. Do you seriously know, or is that a bluff? It wouldn't surprise me if you knew, but... I guess it does surprise me a little bit, but... It's not like a mind-blowing plot twist. Because he clearly knew her pretty well. Uh... well, it's the title of the episode, so... How are you going to do that? Okay. Apparently I got a little bit confused. They're just talking about the boyfriend thing, not the killer. Unless I just missed a sentence or something. That's still a big deal, though. Yeah, why are you panicking? Okay, we have an agreement. Episode's almost over, so... You still feel very bad for her. It's a magical word, I guess. A word that I missed the first time it was said, apparently. Kumo, you say. She's pretty important. A lot revolves around her. And the hat that looks a lot better on her than Yoshino. Will they say it before the episode ends? Or will they do anything before the episode ends? I'm guessing not. Yeah, of course it ended before we got anything further. Of course. I have to wait till next episode. So, you know, this entire episode, they did not really move much at all. They walked around the same area a little bit, but they didn't go anywhere. Most of the moving that was done this episode was Natsumura fighting tanks. Not so much fighting tanks, blocking their attacks while getting close enough to them to sacrifice them to a tree. So not really attacking exactly. But Yamamoto attacked him, so that's cool. The only non-dead girl in this show. So. Zetsuen no Tempest. Okay. Well, that was the 9th episode of Zetsuen no Tempest. And yeah, another very much dialogue heavy episode. So where do we even begin with discussing this one? Well, he, continued to talk about the whole skeleton thing a little bit. And I'm trying to understand the explanation as best I can. So it's pretty much a matter of, well, like I said, dropped the ball a little bit because apparently a message getting from that island to Japan in 4 months is unrealistic. So she should have known better, according to herself. But I never really paid that much attention about where this island was relative to Japan, so I didn't really think about how long that would take at all. But apparently that's a thing. So she is dead in the current timeline, but alive in that one. And the reason why, because it all started with my hero getting the bottle, right? Got it, he tried to communicate with it. The signal could not go to her doll because it was destroyed in that timeline, probably the same time the body was retrieved. Still don't know exactly how she died. I don't think I got any real specifics on that, but who knows. So, since there was nowhere for it to go, it went into the past where, the last place where it existed. Although, I'm still curious exactly why it would choose that specific time as opposed to, like, a day earlier or a day later. Like, I'm not sure exactly how that works, because if it had to go to where the doll was, like the signal had to go there, wouldn't it go there like the second before it was destroyed? Because that would be the closest state to the current state of it if you go down the timeline like a road. The closest would be the right before it got destroyed. So I don't quite get the mechanics of that, how that works. But again, time travel is a very confusing thing, so I probably shouldn't try to understand it too hard as long as I get the gist of it, which is current Hakaze dead, past Hakaze is the one we're talking to. She exists on an island, which is kind of a cage in time, and we hope to bring her to our timeline if at all possible. That's kind of where we're at. I guess that's all that really need to. That's the extent of what you have to grasp of it, I guess. So I'll probably try to avoid thinking on it too hard. Much harder than that. Not much to say on Natsumura. Last episode he was given the task of destroying some of their forces, and he's doing that now. So, but I'll have to contend with Yamamoto. So that's a fun thing. But the biggest thing with the episode is probably my hero kind of turning sides a little bit, because he's always been he hasn't really made much of a secret that he's only on the princess's side the extent that she can help him. And once that no longer is the case, he gets a better offer, a better option, he'll take it. That's no surprise at all, really, with his character. He hasn't exactly been built up to be a loyal, trustworthy, hero type character. That's just not who he is. So, trying to make some sort of deal with Samon, which he seems to be more than happy to take the deal for the most part. It's just a matter of, hey, I'll give you the talismans, just tell me who killed my sister. That's all it really comes down to. It would take a while, except for the fact that he already narrowed it down thanks to Hakaze's magic. So we know it's a Kusaribe clan member. Don't know who it is exactly. Still haven't figured it out yet, but it's probably not Samon, considering his reaction to all that. So doesn't help a lot, but it's probably not going to be anyone that we already know that's already a Kusaribe clan member. Like, it's probably not Natsumura or anything like that. But I don't know. It's really hard to tell who it could possibly be. I feel like it's most likely just a member that's, like, not aware that he's a member, or the audience is not aware that he's a member. I feel like it's gotta be something like that, right? Because there has to be a lot of impact in the reveal, so I just always think about exactly what would have the most impact. The most impact would be if it turned out to be Yoshino, who was a member of the Kusaribe clan who just didn't know it or never told the audience. That would probably be have the biggest impact. I mean, maybe not if I'm able to predict it, but in a vacuum, it would have the biggest impact, in my opinion. But still a lot of mystery on what happened there with her death. All we really got hint-wise this episode was a flashback of them on the cliff together, where Aika was quoting Hamlet and all that, because that's a cool thing to do in the show. Talking about revenge stories and all that, tragedies, and revenge stories that are not tragedies, and how the one that's not a tragedy is better, and some similarities between this and between the stories that she's talking about referencing there and the current state of things in the real world. So it's hard to tell exactly why there's so much coincidence there. It could be a matter of the Tree of Genesis pulling his shenanigans. She mentioned something about, My Hero and Yoshino killing each other because of her, which I think is a pretty blatant foreshadowing. I mean, they fought a little bit in the episode, but yeah, there's definitely potential there for there to be some real battle between the two of them. So I do think that's pretty clearly foreshadowing. I'm sure there's plenty of foreshadowing here, but I don't want to get too much into it. I mean, the more foreshadowing you pick up on, the more spoiled you get, kind of, so I usually try not to dig too deep in that sort of thing. But yeah, Mage on an Island definitely sounds familiar. And then she says the story was called The Tempest. So, well, she just said Tempest, the but just kind of put it in the subtitles. But Japanese doesn't have it doesn't have the, of course. And he kind of threw away the wooden doll, which still upsets me a little bit. But yeah, that's around the time Yoshino retaliated. He fought My Hero a little bit, just enough to get to switch positions with Samon, so he has the high ground now, Anakin, so I don't know what you're going to do about that. Well, yeah, I know what he's going to do, but that's going to negotiate with My Hero, because right now he's still trying to get My Hero back onto his side. That's what the current goal is. So he said some things to try to get him to do that. I want to go back to this part so I can make sure I didn't miss anything important. Yeah, first he tries to compare the Hakaze situation to Aika and try to appeal to emotion there. Saying not to desert her and all that. Bringing up the one incident that he did off screen. Helping the one girl that looked like his sister. See, I'm still looking at this. Yeah, because he mentioned it here. You saved the girl you didn't have to save, which was mentioned back in episode 1. Still don't know who that was. That should come up at some point. I don't think we've seen anyone that could be that person. So, I don't know what to make of that. Because it's obviously not Hakaze, because she was on the island. Or dead at that point, I guess. Probably dead at that point, honestly. But, yeah, my hero retaliates by mentioning that Hakaze is dead in this world. She's on the island. We can't really do much for her. The Hakaze now is just that pile of bones right there. And Hakaze listens to this whole thing, which is very sad. Clearly feeling justified in his decision here. But things change when My Hero makes a comment here. He says, then if there were a way to get your revenge and save Hakaze, what about that? So, it's obviously a bold claim. But he's basically trying to make sure that would be, hypothetically, that would be good enough to get him to come back. Because you have to confirm that first. But My Hero's just not buying it right now, at this point. Yeah, he says the dead can't come back to life. Aika won't come back to life. But he says there's a way to reclaim Hakaze. So, from her dimension 2 years in the past. Which got Samon worried. So, the only way the concern on someone's face makes sense if Yoshino was referencing some sort of magic that could do this that someone is aware of as well. But I don't know how Yoshino would be aware of anything like that. So, but yeah, he's still focused on the killer identity thing. That's still his priority here, so that's where he kind of shifted things to. Saying there's no benefit to saving Hakaze at all. But Yoshino says there is. If you switch back to this side, I'll tell you the identity of Aika's boyfriend. Okay, that's where I got confused. I guess I just didn't read the last word of that sentence. I just read, I'll tell you the identity of Aika's, and I guess my brain just filled in the blank with killer. That led me to be kind of confused. So, yeah, that confused me a little bit for sure. So, yeah, makes a lot more sense now. Just, you miss one word in a sentence and it can change a lot. But, yeah, that's something that he could definitely answer, that's for sure. No doubt about that. So, is that more important to you? Is it more important to know her boyfriends than her murderer? Is that the priority here? But I guess that's what the choice he has to make there. Okay, and that's a big thing there. Unless you agree, I will never tell you who it is. So that shifts things a lot here, because he could always find out the killer identity later. But I don't think anyone besides Yoshino could help with the boyfriend thing. So I can see why it made an impact on him here. Then, yeah, that made the difference there for sure. And just, I love how panicked someone is. Is like, what the heck? How can the word boyfriend make such a big difference? Why did that change the flow of this so much? But that has been built up a lot too. So you weren't there for that, of course, Simone, but that's been a big thing as well. But yeah, at this point, MyHero is still not convinced that he could do with the Hakaze thing. But he says he'll prove that it's possible. Did not give any specifics, I don't think. But again, just wants to make sure that he will if he can. So at this point, it was pretty clear that he was getting through to MyHero, so that's good. Then the smirk is pretty much to tell that it worked. And Simon is not a big fan of any of that. But Simon's clearly panicking for a reason. Is she not as dead as he claims? So, yeah, he still wants to get both if he can, I think. Because he still brought up the killer thing for Simon to do. And in the end, yeah, he straight up agreed to listen to him, so what are you going to actually do here? That's the question, Yoshino. So he does have a time limit until the killer is found out. Man, a lot of important details were set around the same time frame. And the rain actually eventually cleared up for Aika, so that's probably a good sign, symbolism-wise. And of course, bringing up the boyfriend thing again, how important that was to affecting the world's logic for some reason. And then she just talks to herself for a while. And that's pretty much, yeah, that's what there was almost most of the important things of the episode were like in that last 3 or 5 minutes, so it was kind of funny. But it was kind of loaded like that. That was pretty much the most important part of the entire episode by far, those last few minutes. So I want to make sure to go through that slowly. Which I'm sure wasn't probably super exciting for you, but yeah, I do want to know why Aika is so obsessed with this idea of revenge. Like, first the tragedy revenge story, and then the other revenge story that's not a tragedy, and all that. And given pretty much the job has been given to Yoshino to turn this tragedy revenge story into a non-tragedy revenge story, so he's doing his best to do that. But I don't know. I still don't really get Aika a lot. I still don't fully understand that character. We've gotten plenty of flashbacks showing her interacting with Yoshino, interacting with MyHero. I'm still kind of struggling to truly understand that dead girl. I don't know. I just don't quite get it. Just she seems kind of random, but I'm sure that's just my own lack of understanding her character. But hopefully things make more sense to me as we go on. But she just confuses me a lot. I still appreciate any screen time she has, but it just confuses me. But it would be quite something if that skeleton that's just been hovering there for a while suddenly just becomes the Aika the Hakaze that we know. I don't see that really happening, but Yoshino clearly has a plan. I don't know what it is exactly, but I guess we'll see. So, till then. Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to Cnouki for supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you consider clicking the like button and leaving a comment, because that's a great and easy way to let me know that people want more. If you want to do something big to help the channel, you can support me on Patreon and get nice benefits like early access to certain videos. See you next time.